Hey, how's everyone doing? Today we're going to be talking about helping a pre-dental student apply to dental school. This is Dr. Hayes' student, Dr. Kwame, actually his future student, Dr. Kwame, is on the line today. And this is part of a series that I like to do on a weekly basis called Ask Dr. Darwin. It's an outreach program for not only for patients who have questions about dental care, but also for new dentists. As a new dentist coach, that's my passion, that's my mission, to help new dentists wherever they are in their careers. Those that are contemplating going into dental school, who are in the application process, those that are in dental school, that are navigating their way through the 4 years, and then contemplating going into residency or to private practice, or even those new dentists that have been practicing less than 10 years and helping them with additional professional development. So today's call deals more or less with the first segment, the first part of new dentists, which is the application process and getting into dental schools. So we have Kwame on the line. Kwame, you want to tell me a little bit about yourself? And let's start with that, so we can kind of have a background as to where you are now and what your goal is.
Okay. I went to Rutgers University in Newark for my undergraduate. During that time, I didn't perform as well for my science GPA, so I wanted to, do something about that. So I entered into a graduate program at the Rutgers School of Biomedical Sciences.
Right.
Where now I'm doing my biomedical science master's. I also, what I did as far as my passion in dentistry really originated with first generation American. My parents are from Ghana, and I went down to Ghana one year and was able to, see that there was a big lack of just oral health in general down there through, the children that were living around the area in which my parents lived. It turned into a situation where I ended up giving them my toothbrushes and toothpaste, and then coming back the next year and seeing the impact that made. And that really generated and sparked my interest. I ended up starting an entire nonprofit organization based off of it called Project Dental, where we started going to different countries, including Ghana. Of course, started with Ghana, and we started getting inquiries to different countries, and sending all our products, and also taking dentists with us to do teeth cleanings and sometimes even reconstructive.
What is the name of your nonprofit again?
Project Dental All.
Project Dental All.
Yeah. We started. What we also did was we started chapters at different schools, which we started. Because there was a lack of pre-dental societies and just like really oral health focused organizations on campus. So it was perfect. And we started some of these this organization at some of these campuses like Montclair, Rutgers, Rutgers, Newark, and JIT. And we started getting these individuals together, some pre-dental students, some not, and going to local schools in urban areas to teach about oral health as well, and things like that.
So Project Dental All, as part of this nonprofit, they have some affiliations with some other. Is it Rutgers University or just other colleges and universities in the area?
Well, it originated at Rutgers. I started it while in my undergrad at Rutgers, so the affiliation does tie deep with people at Rutgers, but it does exist at different universities.
Okay.
But it's a national number. It's like national-wide. It's 501c3. We got it approved. 501c3 approved for it.
That's great, man. So that kind of shows and demonstrates your passion and your push towards oral health care and making sure that people are not only aware that may have a similar interest, but reaching back out into the community and helping them out. That's awesome, man.
Thank you.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about what your plans are now and where you are with your application process, all of that.
All right. So basically, currently just waiting to hear back from some of the schools for at least an interview or something of the sort to, of course, present my case as an individual as to why I would have wanted to become a dentist, and for them to get a better chance to know me as well.
Right.
So that's where I currently am in my application process. I haven't really heard back from any schools yet, or anything like that.
So what other schools you mentioned? Tufts, HU, Rutgers, Toro College, which is the new dental school that just saw the first class this fall. Where else did you have down, Kwame?
UMD, University of Maryland.
Okay.
As far as schools were.
So Tufts, Howard, Rutgers, Toro, and Maryland. Okay, great. And you just finished up. You took your DAT. You have
NYU as well. I'm sorry.
NYU, of course. Can't forget NYU. The biggest school on the planet here. Cool. And you took your DAT and got a cumulative of 19. You said.
Yes, I got a 19 in both AA and my sciences. A further breakdown, I ended up getting my worst scores were for biology, math, and PhD, which is I know is a little awkward, especially for the PhD. I ended up getting 17s in all those sections.
Okay.
From my chemistry and orgo, chemistry I got 20, and organic chemistry I got a 21, and my reading comprehension was also a 20.
That's great, man. That's great. We're going to talk. I want to mention to you why that those scores are important. But those sound great. So you started the application process. You got your DATs in, and now you're waiting to hear back.
Yes.
Okay. And you're applying for admittance for starting in 17. So you'll be the class of 21.
Right.
Okay. Gotcha. So class 2021. So how can I help you? What can I help you with this process and where you are? What questions do you have specifically for me?
So basically, my most concerning thing, of course, which has always been, is GPA wise. I'm taking about 13 credits of sciences right now, which is going to complete my master's. Currently, on paper, I have a 3.0, which I believe would be weak in sending for a application. But coming after this semester, after some of the classes that I'm taking, which are pretty prominent classes, I like one of the biggest ones just being AMP. One, and I'm also taking 2 next semester, just to fulfill some requirements. And that's one of the schools asked for that. And then I've taken my biochemistries and things like that. But one course that I didn't perform so well in, I didn't know whether I should retake that course as in a planned, a missing course, like a planned course that I will be taking, or if what I should really do as far as to still prove that I have the ability to handle that workload. Because I know that's really what they look for, and I'm not sure how to really portray that at this stage specifically.
So the issue that you're having is your GPA and it being at a level where you don't think you would like for it to be higher, of course, right? And subsequently, you are taking some other courses right now as part of your master's program, all right? Or did you finish your master's already?
I'm finishing my master's right now. This is my last semester for my master's, and then I'm taking one 4-credit undergraduate course, which is anatomy and physiology.
So anatomy and physiology, you're going to do that in the spring. Okay.
Right. No, I'm taking anatomy and physiology 1 right now. I'm taking 2 in the spring.
Okay, so taking taking 2 and taking 1 now. I got you. Okay. And so you're taking some courses to eventually, hopefully, raise that GPA up.
Yeah. I feel very confident in that, that it will.
Okay. So where your GPA is right now is nothing we can do about it, or nothing you can do about it until you've got these other courses that are coming up. But in the meantime, you've already applied, right? Correct? So what we're focusing on now, what you just mentioned was the backside, meaning, after this application cycle, you'll still have some additional credentials that they could look at if need be, if they were on the fence. All right. So what you're focusing on now is, okay, so I've submitted, I've got my GPA, I'm working on getting it higher, I've got my DAT in, I've got my application in at these 6 schools. Now what? So now you're waiting to hear back for interviews, correct? Okay. So what is the question you have for me regarding where you are right now?
So, of course, there's there's that anxiousness where, you need to be more patient, but I always wonder if there's more that I can do where I am right now in my application process. Like, what more is there that I can do that can sort of course, just, of course, performing well in those classes that I can do in order to strengthen myself as an applicant or set me further apart than where I am right now? Is there anything that I can currently do?
So your question is, what else can you do to strengthen your application and get noticed? That's what it sounds like.
Right. Yeah, that's really where I am right now, to get noticed.
Okay, so a couple things. Because that's the only thing that we can really focus on right now. One of the things is you have to keep in mind is the programs that you apply to. And I talk about this in another video that I talk about, is about how to get into dental school. But first thing is you want to target the programs that you're applying to. All right. And I say that to say that, lots of times it's not what you know and how great your score is or how high your GPA is, but it's also about who you know. So my first question is, who do you know at these schools? Who do you know at Tufts? Who do you know at Maryland? Who do you know at Rutgers? Who do you know at Howard? Who do you know at Toro? Who do you know at NYU?
I mean, as far as that goes, because I applied.
You're breaking up. You got to speak up. I can't hear you.
Oh, is it better?
Yeah.
Because I was a Rutgers student, I'm pretty well connected with the Rutgers Dental School. But then it's also, I do stay in connection with faculty there. I do know some of the faculty at Howard as well, but for the most part, I have colleagues that have gotten into different schools at these different places, all except for Toronto and Maryland are the 2 places that I really don't know anybody.
Okay.
So I don't know how I would be reaching out to those schools.
Well, it's kind of hard to reach out to them if you don't know anybody there, right?
Right.
At least on the surface. But one of the things that's nice for you all as new applicants in this computer age and the social media age is that you can identify and find people to connect with at these schools just from going on social media.
Right.
So just like you and I kind of connected on LinkedIn, there's other modems like Instagram, of course Facebook, and I'm saying that because all those schools have at least a school page or school account, but also some of the organizations at the school will have an Instagram account. Like, for example, at Rutgers, which you probably are aware, but they have the SNDA and the ASA, they all have an Instagram account. They may even have a Twitter account too, where they post pictures of different activities or they communicate to other chapters. So I'm saying that to say that one of the ways that you can get out of obscurity is go out and meet some people and find out who to meet is by utilizing social media to make some connections.
Right.
So to all those schools that you mentioned, I'm not familiar with Toro since they just started, and but all the other ones, Tufts, HU, Rutgers, Maryland, NYU, they all have Instagram and Twitter accounts.
Right.
If you don't know them by now, you should be searching them.
Already.
Yeah, searching them and trying to connect. All right.
Right.
Because again, the first thing is what we're trying to find out is who do you know, or what we're trying to establish is who you know at these schools. Primarily, because it's not what you know, but who you know. All right. Now, you mentioned you had some contacts at some of these other schools. Are they currently dental students, or they are applying also?
They're currently dental students. I know current dental students there.
Okay, so what schools?
Howard, Rutgers, NYU. Yeah.
Okay, so let's focus on the ones that are closest to you, which is Rutgers and NYU.
Right.
Rutgers and NYU. What year are they in dental school?
I know first year. I know first year in dental school at NYU, and I know third year. I know third year, second years, and first years at Rutgers, and I know first years at Howard.
So any of at those schools at NYU or Rutgers, any of those people that you know, are they involved in any organizations?
Yes, yeah, for sure.
Okay. So next question is, have you attended any of those activities?
No, actually.
No.
Yeah, I haven't gone to any of those organizational things. But what did happen was I had a banquet for the organization that I was telling you about, and I invited a lot of them, which they did go.
Okay, that's good. So that type of activity is the activity that you need to get more involved with.
Right.
All right, because right now nobody knows you.
Right.
But your goal and your mission right now is to get known.
Right.
Right? To get known. I mean, you want to get known because what you're trying to find is people or a person or a connection to the admissions committee. Now, I remember as a student at Maryland, we had faculty and we have student members as part of the admissions committee. And I'm sure most schools are similar than that. But it's very possible that you may have some friends or friends of some friends at these current schools that are sitting on the admissions committee. But if you're not involved or not connected to those students through the activities that they have or that they put on, then you're not going to get that introduction. It only takes one introduction. That's it. It only takes one introduction to find out somebody. Everybody that you'll meet is at least connected to 10 or 20 people. All right? And it just could be one of those 10 or 20 people might be someone who sits on the admissions committee. You see how that works?
So really getting in contact with someone like that would help as far as to get me known at whichever school that I have applied to.
Right. So that's the thing. So one of the things I tell new dentists all the time is, you want to be very outgoing.
Right, your networking abilities.
You're networking, man. I'm telling you, go to each and every event. Even go to the ones you don't want to go to. Take some business cards. At least, with your nonprofit, you've got something to talk about. As far as conversational wise, but also, you're in the business of getting yourself known. And the only way to do that is you got to go out. To be known, you got to go out, right? To meet people. Now but you can also do it like we talked about through social media and having a blog and posting things. But your activity needs to be a little bit more specific in that we're targeting people at the school who may be on the admissions committee. So you've got to go to those school activities, which leads me to my second comment or second strategy, which is I know Rutgers, Maryland, NYU, they all just recently had an activity called Impressions Day. Have you heard about that before?
Yeah, I've heard of Impressions Day, I've just heard about it. Like, I haven't really heard too much.
Okay, so now that you've heard about it, now you've got to be about it. Meaning, you have to find out exactly when the next one is being held. Maryland just had one about 2 or 3 weeks ago. One of my mentees that lives in Jersey, I sent him down. I sent him the flyer, and he went. He just said, "Doc, I'm gonna go." So he drove down. I think it was on a Saturday morning. I put him in contact with a couple people there, and he's in as far as the network. Now he's got some people he can add to his Rolodex or his database just from attending that activity. So what you've got to do is do the same thing. You've got to find out from your network at Howard, your network at Rutgers, and also the people that you know at NYU. Find out when the next Impressions program is so that you can attend. Not only are you going to learn more about school and duties and responsibilities as a dental student, but you also possibly you might meet some faculty members that are on the what? Admissions committee. Exactly. Or you may get a chance to interact with some people who might know someone who's on the admissions committee. Again, you want to strategically make sure your activity is based around meeting people that can get you known so that you can be known. So those are the activities, okay? I'm trying to think the impressions programs. Now, also some of the organizations have other activities too. They may not have an impressions program. They may have I don't know. Right now it's holiday time, so people are kind of crunching for exams. But they may have different social, like happy hours and things like that. You may want to consider going to. Again, all three of these things involve you communicating with the people that you already have established some relationships with. Because one of the things you'll find, man, in dentistry, just like any other profession or business, it's all about the relationships. In dentistry, it's the relationships with the patients, all right? Patients don't care if or don't know if you're number 1 in a class or number 50 out of 65. All they care about and focus on is how you treated them. Were you nice? Did you follow up? Did you hurt them? Did you accommodate them? That's the only things they're mostly concerned about. Everything else is insignificant. Right. So in dentistry, man, we pretty much are in the business of relationships, and we have a byproduct called oral health care. That's basically what it is. That's basically what it is. So you've gotta really hone in and go deep on your contacts that you have, because you could have someone that knows somebody in the admissions committee right now.
Haven't really utilized.
No. So, because quite honestly, all the other stuff as far as, you raising up your GPA and finishing up your master's program, I mean, that's all academic / paper stuff. Right? So the people who make those decisions, the people that make those decisions are not going to be in class with you. Right? They're going to be in the school at different social functions. I mean, even at Rutgers, I would check with, if you know anybody who's in the SNDA or ASDA, SNDA is the Student National Dental Association. ASDA is the American Student Dental Association. If you know anybody that's in any one of those two organizations, it's holiday time. Someone's about to have a holiday party or something.
Right.
You need to be
might
there.
Be something I want to slip into.
Yeah, you need to be there, but you also need to be there not just to make one contact, but you need to go repeatedly. Again, you want to start to establish a relationship with those dental
community,
the dental community and the dental students, especially if you have with your nonprofit that's geared towards outreach for those that are in need of dental services and things like that. I mean, just that part of your application slash background is, a lot of, there's a lot of conversation, a lot of discussion that can come just from that. There's not too many dental student applicants that have a nonprofit that are related to community outreach for oral health care. So that in itself is one of the things that's gonna, which leads me to my next thing, which is gonna help you stand out, right? How do you differentiate yourself from everybody else that's applying? So hopefully, as part of your personal statement, you mentioned some of that activity and some of the things that you've created.
Absolutely.
So that's great. Now the next thing is, now people got to hear about it.
Right. Gotta get the word out there.
Yeah. So not only of course you want to do that as a nonprofit organization, whether you were applying to dental school or not, but even more so now, because there's a symbiotic correlation and relationship, so to speak. So another strategy I would be doing is I would be, if you're not on social media right now, through LinkedIn, between LinkedIn and maybe some Instagram. I'm trying to think,
Facebook, really?
What's that? Facebook. Yeah, I mean, all of those probably, and probably some more, but you want to just, flood the social network with examples of what you guys do and pictures of activities that you have sponsored, whether it's the Rutgers chapter or the other chapters that are in New Jersey that you help found. So, but what that does, but especially LinkedIn is the number one social network for professionals, and there are a lot of there are some dental faculty and dental schools that have a LinkedIn account. They may have a LinkedIn account that you can have access to versus they may not have an Instagram or a Twitter account, but they probably, the likelihood of them having a LinkedIn account is probably a little bit more than the other two. So that means you need to be promoting your nonprofit and your activities on LinkedIn, right? And while you're there, you can do some searches on LinkedIn. Some searches on LinkedIn as it relates to dental school faculty. And some of the descriptions that we put in when we, put in our profile and create our profile, one of the descriptors may be dental school faculty or dental educator or something like that. So you might want to consider searching or using a search within LinkedIn to befriend some of those people that are in the community. That's how you.
And it's really just building up that network kind of situation. I never really thought of like certain ways that you mentioned to really build up that network for sure.
Yeah, man, it's I mean, at the end of the day, you are a business too. You yourself, you are your own brand. right? And
Right.
and you've got to sell your brand or yourself to the decision makers that are going to help you get the things
To where you want to go.
yeah, where you want to go, your goals and aspirations. Right now, it just happens to be, you know,
The next step.
the next step for you is getting an interview,
Yes.
right? In order to get into dental school, you got to apply. Of course, you got to take, you know, prerequisites. You got to do your DAT. Then you got to go through the whole application process. But then also, after that is you got to get an interview.
Right.
At some point, I mean, it's not, unless dental school has changed, there's not too many people just getting into dental school just by applying without an interview.
No, I don't think so.
So you got to get that interview. But you get the interview based on your credentials, based on what's been submitted. But another way is through word of mouth.
Right. Like, who is this guy?
Right. Right. Or it may be somebody that's in your network knows someone at one of these schools that that either is on the admissions committee or has a that has another person that they know that's on the admissions committee, where they can make a phone call and say, "Hey, check out this guy's application. I think he'll be a great candidate for the school." Also, another strategy is alumni. Alumni. Now, I don't know. Are you from New Jersey?
Yes.
So, whether it's your own dentist or someone else that you know that has a dentist, you know, one of the strategies is to go around and ask people that you know that have a dentist where they went to dental school. And if they went to school at one of those 6 places that you mentioned, that potentially could be someone you can target or talk to see how involved they are with the Alumni Association as it relates to admissions. I mean, we as alumni are always referring potential students to the school.
Schools. Right.
Right?
Right.
All the time. So, just like a word of mouth referral for a patient is very, very strong and well respected, so is a word of mouth referral from an alum who maybe has a mentee who's applying to dental school,
Right.
or may have a friend, may know someone who has a friend who's applying to dental school. See how that works too?
Yeah.
So that's another strategy. And then, oh man, right now I don't know if you can do it. You may be able to do on-site registration, but one of the biggest dental meetings in the U.S. is happening right now as we speak. Here in New York, the Greater New York Dental Meeting. It's the largest dental meeting in the country. Largest, biggest, most populated, most number of vendors, has a big international registration and programming, and that's happening right now at the Javits Center here in New York. But guess what? Guess who goes to those meetings? I bet you there's
dental schools.
Yep, dental schools. I would Google Greater New York Dental Meeting, and right now, Greater New York Dental Meeting, and go on their website and look at their booklet. They have a booklet. I don't have a copy here. They have a booklet of all the exhibits, all the lectures, all the presentations. But you're right, and part of that is that's a big alumni function meeting. Meaning, a lot of the programs that you mentioned are having some type of alumni functions for the school during this time. NYU, Rutgers, Columbia, they are all having alumni associations or meetings, dinners, could be a breakfast, whatever it is.
Brunch or something.
Certain brunches. So you've got that aspect. You also have schools that have students that are coming in that are presenting table clinics.
Right.
doing poster presentations,
Right.
all those different types of things, all of which, you want to get your elbows and rub up against those folks and be in that, in that, in that, in that energy, that
Environment.
source of,
Yeah.
that environment and that energy. All right.
Right.
So, I mean, it might be something worth looking at, especially if any of those schools have any programming tonight, tomorrow. I think it ends on Wednesday or Thursday. But,
Okay.
It's worth something to think about. They may have an alumni reception. Usually they have them on Sundays, but there may be one tonight. Maybe there's one for Rutgers. Maybe one of the students that you know at Rutgers knows about it and want to go, and maybe you guys can go together. Just, again, keep your eyes open, your ears open, and your mind open to activities.
Possibilities.
Where you can meet people and interact with people. Because, again, it only takes one introduction.
Yeah.
It only takes one introduction. That's it. But it's kind of like a numbers game. So between what we just mentioned, between going to SNDA/ASDA and other dental school organization meetings and activities, stuff on social media, trying to find different schools that are on social media and just, communicating with them, and then also promoting your own business and your own brand, the things that you're doing with your nonprofit on social media also. All those are strategies.
Really important.
Yeah, all those are strategies to get you noticed and to get out of what I call get out of obscurity. Because nobody knows you. Nobody knows you. Now, as it relates to your anxiety about your application process, all I can say is you're normal. You're human. Meaning everybody else is pretty much going through the same thing. Some people have received some interviews, and some people haven't.
Yeah.
But without really having any connections or strong relationships with people at the schools, it can be a long and anxious time period while you're waiting to hear whether or not you're going to be granted an interview. I mean, outside of you calling today and following up and seeing where your application is or seeing if they need anything else, I mean, it's pretty much, it's kind of like a wait and see type of thing. I mean, unless the school has some type of opportunity where you can come and visit, usually they do that during the summertime. But right now, it's hot and heavy into the admissions and interview process. So a lot of schools are doing a lot of interviewing right now. They're not doing a lot of meet and greets. Right. Now, one idea is this: if you know somebody at those schools and you want to go visit them for the day, so that maybe
I can just request that.
Well, say you know somebody at Rutgers that you're friends with. You may want to shadow them for the day in hopes of not only learning about what they're doing, but also in hopes of
run into someone.
Yeah, maybe they can, at lunchtime set up a meeting or introduction so that you can meet the dean of the school or dean of admissions or the dean of academic or student affairs, just somebody you can meet. Just to say, hey, I was just here hanging out with student Dr. Williams, and she thought it would be a good idea I come by and say, just say hi and meet you. I'm applying to the school. I'm looking forward to being in. I mean, just little things. Because that person may say, oh, okay, you apply? You haven't? Oh, okay. We make sure we got your interview, we got your application. Oh, okay. Well, let me introduce you to one of the persons on the committee. So now they see your face, they got your name, but now you're instead of you being a piece of paper in a folder that's stacked up and there's like 300 other folders on somebody's desk, now there's a live warm body associated with that folder.
Right.
And
sometimes it's a lot more powerful of a statement.
Yeah. And sometimes magically that folder comes alive now.
Right.
And it may take you from the middle of the pile to the top of the pile because now that person's reaching for your application or your folder and might move it somewhere.
Right, where it needs to be.
Yeah, where it needs to be. I mean, it's kind of hard to really decipher how some of the schools, what are the criteria?
Do their selection processing.
Yeah, it's part of the selection. I mean, some schools may be just DAT. Maybe they want 20s and above or 19s and above. Some schools look at GPA. Some look at it both combined. Some people look at community service as more important. Or again, all of them. Some of them may look at all three. It's a crapshoot to kind of figure out what is what.
What they're looking at.
So again, your best offense is to do all the strategies that we talked about because at the end of the day, your main goal is to what?
Get into dental school and become a dentist.
And the only way right now, where you are at this stage, the way that you get into dental school is you got to get an interview. So I think a little bit, if not all of those strategies, may be helpful moving forward. Keeping in mind, I'm not sure when some of those deadlines are, but I know we're in the middle of the interviewing season. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's middle or maybe towards the end for some of the schools.
Yeah.
But the best thing that you have going for you is you got time. You got time, and you've got some new information and some new strategies that you can employ to get yourself known.
Okay.
So I would start with that, man.
All right, for sure.
I would start with that, but I would start with that, but focus on the connections that you already have.
Right, and then build upon those.
I mean, NYU, Rutgers, and Howard.
Yeah.
Keeping in mind that at any given time, if something comes up and there's an activity, you want to prioritize your own activity so that maybe you can go and make that Wednesday night social that somebody is having.
Right.
And you'll be able to do that probably a little bit more here since you're in the area. If there was something at Rutgers or NYU versus Howard, we have to, you got to spend some time.
Travel.
Yeah. But that still doesn't mean that you can't really dive deeper into that contact you have at Howard and ask them, what things are coming up.
Right.
Do you know do you know all the application deadlines and when they stop interviewing for all those schools?
They have application deadlines, but not necessarily when they stop interviewing. I know Rutgers application deadline is in January. UMD's is on the first. I know Howard's is a little later. I think like around March even.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
All right, so basically what you're saying is we're kind of early in that process in some of these programs that you're applying to.
Right, for sure. I mean, I'm not sure, like, if the application process, if the application deadline is over as in they're not accepting any more applications, does that mean that they're going to make all their decisions by that time, or does that mean they're just not going to accept any more incoming applications?
That typically means that the application deadline, that's the time you have to submit all your information.
Okay, yeah. All right, then, yeah.
Yeah, that's the time. So, when did you submit your stuff?
Well, UMD was probably the most recent, but everything else before then, I've been submitting before in early October. But I had to wait, early September. I had to wait for my DAT scores to come in before my application was actually complete, though, which was
So that was the day of your last submission of some documents that you needed for your application. You were waiting for your DOT. So that's mid-October. So that's 4 weeks. So they were waiting on that, and you what I would do maybe is give a call.
Right.
Say I'm so-and-so and so-and-so, I'm an applicant. I just forwarded my DAT scores. It was something that was outstanding on my application. Just want to make sure that it was received.
Right.
I mean, it's worth a try to at least establish some contact. Don't know who's going to pick up the phone, whether it's going to be an administrative assistant or someone who's in charge of the admissions process.
Right.
But at least you would,
touch base with somebody.
Touch base with somebody. Now, if it is an administrative assistant, they're going to screen the calls. They're not going to get you directly to that person who's heading up the admissions committee. So don't even try to ask for that person, because you don't want them to flag your chart based on your name for that. But again, that's where having a contact on the committee or someone that's in the school that that may know a name or know someone that you could associate yourself with.
So my question is, like, if I have somebody that I know at a school, right, a faculty member or somebody in the admissions committee, would I stop trying to connect with others on the admission committee, or like what? Like, how would you? What is your
goal?
For example, like you're saying that I should connect with people on the admissions committee of different schools, right? Like that would be ideal for me to do.
If you can.
And if I do that, like say I connect with someone from Rutgers on the admissions committee, right? And I'm connected with them, would it behoove me to continue to connect with others on the admissions committee, or should I just kind of just work with that person that I know so far?
So here's the thing. Two things. Number one, what's your goal? What's your purpose?
To get into dental school.
Okay, to get into dental school. Second thing is if it's a admissions committee, it's probably more than 2 or 3 people.
Right.
I know at Maryland when I was there, I think it was like 10 of us, but maybe about 3 or 4 people might have interviewed candidates at a time, and then at the end of the month, the whole committee came together, and we all talked about the different people that we all interviewed and so forth. So if there's more than 2 or 3 people on the committee, you want to. You're trying. When people vote, usually it's, unless it's one person, you're not going to have 100% with one vote.
Right.
So, of course, it helps. It helps, but making sure that person that you do know that's on the committee can be a spokesperson on your behalf is key too.
Right.
Because you got to look at it from their perspective. They're
kind of sticking their neck out in that respect.
That's right. So, and then some of it. The main thing is you're really just trying to get your folder out of that stack of 300, and to the point where someone actually looks at it and a committee looks at it and they actually grant you the interview.
Right.
That's the thing we're really trying to do, and you got to keep in mind that you've got a lot of screening tools that are part of that process that may hinder that or cause an actual obstacle. Again, GPA, DAT scores, your essay, your personal statement, your extracurricular activities. So again, all of that plays a factor, but also so does who you know and what connections you already have, and maybe seeing if someone could drop a name for you with regards to them pulling your application out of that pile, giving it some other type of consideration. keeping in mind that you just submitted your DAT scores about a month ago,
Right.
it still may be early, especially if some of these programs have deadlines
Are
of
looking.
January
Yeah.
1st and March 1st. I mean, that's, we're talking 2 to 5 months from now still.
Right.
So it still may be early
Right.
for some of those schools that you've applied to.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
What
Well, yeah,
other questions do you have?
I think you pretty much covered all bases, with, what I've asked so far. It honestly gave me a lot of homework to do as far as, what I need to do, as far as just to strengthen myself as an applicant, really just try to get known as an individual. I guess like I had too narrow of a vision of how to do that, and speaking to you actually, widen that vision, of course, and now I know, like, I have more options as far as how to gain contact and, certain things like that. And, because obviously another, like, line of it is, knowing what's appropriate, what's not appropriate as far as, like, really going out and trying to get to know people. So,
Yeah,
that was really...
And you're right. I think what happens sometimes is in life, we don't want to step on people's shoes, or we want to make sure that we do it right, and no one, people like us and stuff. But sometimes being too reasonable puts an obstacle in front of yourself.
Yeah.
For yourself.
Yeah, puts you at a disadvantage because you're certain things that you're not willing to do, right?
Right, or you don't think is right to do, or you're not sure, so you don't make a decision.
Right.
My thing is, some of these things in life, you just can't be reasonable about. You just got to go. You just got to do it.
Right. Just go all out.
Yeah, you got to do it. You got to give whatever it takes. As long as it's within reason, as long as you're not hurting anybody or defaming anybody in the process. Whatever it takes, man. But the main thing is about relationships. It's about communication.
Right.
I can't.
Which is the heart of the field.
What's that?
Which, from what you were saying, is pretty much the heart of the field.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It is. I mean, you've got connections to people that are really still untapped.
Right.
Because I know somebody at Rutgers first, second, and third year just interviewed or know somebody who was on the interview team when they were there.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Right.
They know that the person from first year, they know who the interviewers were from last year.
Right.
Because they're probably still at the school.
Right.
Who is that person? Where are they going to be? When is the next social event that he or she's going to be there? Maybe I can meet them.
Attend. Right.
Yeah, because that's the biggest obstacle for a lot of people is not knowing who you are or what you do.
Right.
You could be the best dentist in North Jersey, but if people don't know who you are and where you're located and stuff like that, it don't matter. Or you could be, could have been the best implant dentist, have all these accolades for the class and the certification, topping your class for your certification. But if nobody knows where your office is and where you're located and for people who don't have internet or don't use internet to do searching and stuff, how are they gonna find you?
They can't.
They can't. Now, unless they meet you at a meeting somewhere, or meet you at a wedding, or meet you at an event, which is another reason why when you go to these things, you got to have some business cards for your nonprofit. So I don't know. I'm sure you're doing something similar, but if you're not, man, get some business cards made up so that when you go out and meet people, or you can get one of those things on the phone where you can, like a little scan, like a barcode type of scan where you create one and people scan it and it goes right to your web page, or it uploads all your contact information, stuff like that, that's more appropriate with the times. Yeah, man. Every time you meet somebody, you need to be giving them your card.
For sure. Yeah, I definitely have cards that I can start giving out when I start going places.
Yeah, man.
Start connecting with people.
Yep. Because again, it only takes one introduction from one person
to make a difference.
To make the difference between you getting into school or before that, actually getting the interview.
Right.
Because before you get admitted, you got to do the interview.
Right.
So we're going to take each step at a gradient. So the next step is to get the interview. How do I get people, how do I get the admissions committee to know who I am? What resources do I have in front of me that I haven't tapped into that are pretty much free, just requires some ingenuity and some effort to do that I can tap into.
Right.
Right now, you've got two potential areas. You got students at Rutgers and you got students at NYU. Sound like Rutgers might be a little bit stronger.
Yeah, I went there all my college career, so it's definitely a little stronger.
What I'm saying stronger as far as sound like you know more people at Rutgers in the dental school.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, you need to find out when the next SNDA or ASDA meeting is. You need to be there as a guest.
Right.
You know, if it's a potluck or something, bring a dish. You know.
Right.
And try to meet as many people as possible and ask them about their experience, about their interview experience, their application experience. That gets the conversation going, and they may drop a name. They may say, hey, you know what? So-and-so I know is on the admissions committee. As a student, I want you to meet her, and she's over there.
Right.
But that doesn't happen if you're not in the place.
Right.
Or that doesn't happen if you're just sitting and waiting for them to kind of call you or
hear back or whatever.
Hear back. I mean, some of that you just kind of have to accept, but some of it you don't have to because you don't know.
Be a little more proactive.
Yeah. And right now it's just getting to know who you are.
Right.
They seen you on paper, or they have some understanding as to who you are on paper, but it's paper, man. It's not lively.
So it can only do so much. Yeah,
paper. It's like, I mean, you've done your perceptual ability right from your DAT. You remember seeing that cube on the paper, but it still was only 2 dimensions, right?
Right.
But when you take that object in your hand and you start to feel it and look at it and turn it and everything, you have.
I get a better visual.
Yeah, you got a better visual. You got more reality. You got more certainty as to what it is because you can touch it, you can feel it, and it looks more real. It's the same thing with meeting people. It's like going on a blind date. Right? You're going on a blind date. You meet this guy, meet this girl, whatever, and you guys are talking on the phone, and everything sounds good. But then you go see each other, and it might be maybe even better or maybe worse. I don't know.
Right. Something changes.
Yeah, but it's not until you have that one-on-one, face-to-face experience, interaction that begins to kind of bring life to your name and your application and your folder and what you wrote in your personal statement. I tell all the dentists, new dentists, especially those that are applying to residency programs after dental school, I said, you can find some information online about the programs, but you got to go. You got to go to the program and visit.
Right.
Because that's what's going to really, really give you more reality, more substance for you. Because you're going to actually meet people. You're going to actually see what the rooms and the hallways and the place looks like. You're going to see how people are talking to you, or do they make eye contact with you? Are they running around? With just all of that. You'll be able to talk to people, talk to residents, talk to people that work there. All of that.
You get a true feel of the environment.
Get a true feel for it, yep. By being one-on-one, face-to-face, which you can't get via a piece of paper or online or stuff like that. So that's what I would do, man. I think you've got a good start. You just need to keep pushing.
Right.
Keep pushing. So look, man, that's my time for right now. But keep me posted.
Of course.
There's some other folks over at Rutgers and also at the University of Maryland I think you need to get in contact with.
Okay.
And that'll be helpful. I'm not sure, over at Rutgers, I'm not sure if he's on the admissions committee, but I'm sure he knows and interacts with somebody who is.
Okay.
And I would even have one of the students maybe try to make an introduction. But his name is Dr. Perez.
Oh, I've heard of Dr. Perez. I think he's the minority individual for that.
Okay, so you've heard of him, but you haven't seen him.
I saw him about 2 years ago at an event.
Yeah, but that's in the past. That don't count because you just you just applied 2 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago. So that whatever happened in the past 2 years ago, that doesn't mean anything. We're talking about right now, present time. So if you might have been introduced to him 2 years ago, that's almost like you didn't. I mean, you might as well not have. Yeah, you might as well not have been introduced to him. But you know his name. He works with the HDA, with the Hispanic Dental Association over there, and also with the SNDA, and also with recruitment and minority affairs. That's the person you need to go meet.
Okay, for sure.
Like ASAP, like before the holiday, before Santa Claus comes.
No, like I'm actually gonna message him as soon as we part.
Yeah, tell one of your people you know at Rutgers, tell them you want to come in and hang out with them for the day or half a day with the hopes of meeting Dr. Perez. Tell them you want to come in. Hey, this is what you do. You find out and get his contact information, and you tell him that Dr. Hayes is your mentor, and he told me to contact you at Rutgers. He told me to set up a meeting to come in and talk to you. See how that works?
Yeah.
All right.
And then you said you may know someone over at UMD.
Yeah, University of Maryland. Yep. Do you know any students down there at all?
I don't know. I honestly don't know anybody there at all. Yeah, down at that school, I don't really know anybody there.
So I know a lot of the students. I also know some of the faculty, one or two that are on the admissions committee. I'll give you their name. But what I want you to do for Maryland though is they have a Instagram, I think a Twitter page. What you need to do is search. You need to search them, SNDA University of Maryland, and see what you find. And once you find something, let me know. But then also contact them. Contact them directly and say, again, you were referred to the organization from Dr. Hayes. You wanted to talk to somebody, current dental student, about applying to dental school. And they're going to get you in contact with whoever handles that through the SNDA. Let's start you that way with regards to Maryland.
Okay.
But as far as Rutgers, call your contact and say, hey, how do I get in a meeting with Dr. Perez? I want to come in and meet him. Dr. Hayes told me I need to come and meet him in person. There you go. Find out what his schedule is like. You may have to go at lunchtime. I know he's busy with meetings and other things that he does, but, again, that's the person you want to get in front of and kind of talk to. Very similar to how you mentioned to me what your interests were, what you were trying to do. It could be as simple as, hey, Dr. Hayes told me to come meet you. I'm applying to dental school. Rutgers is one of them. Can you tell me a little bit about the process? Tell me a little bit about how students fare here, what student life is like here. Tell me a little bit about what you do here at the school in conjunction or in support of the students. Be interested. Be interested. Okay? So also, man, what I want you to do. So you got some homework there for Rutgers and Maryland. But also, what I want you to do is to please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Dr. Darwin Speaks, on YouTube. And there's some strategies, some of which we talked about a little bit today. But there's a whole bunch of other content I think is going to be very, very helpful. It's going to reinforce a lot of the things that we've talked about already.
Yeah, Dr. Darwin Speaks on
Dr.
YouTube.
Darwin Speaks, go on YouTube. Please subscribe and share it with other people that you know that may be interested or that it could be helpful. But I definitely know there's some content in some of those videos. Probably got about, I don't know, close to 50 videos on different topics. I think you can take away some good points, some salient points that'll be helpful in this first part of your journey. All right?
I'll definitely take a look at some of those videos as well. I've really been trying to gather like as much advice and information as I can. And for the most part, I really appreciate you taking out that time to speak with me and, definitely mentoring me and shaping me in a way that would be, very attractive to other, to dental schools and admissions committees as far as that goes as well. I know I'm sure you're busy as well, and I really do appreciate that time taken out.
Hey, man, you're welcome. Not a problem. Somebody did it for me at different parts of my career and still do it for me. So, you'll have your turn one day. You'll have your turn. But again, please subscribe to that Dr. Darwin Speaks on YouTube and get in contact with the person over at Rutgers. I would try to do that as soon as possible because some of the schools start to close down real soon in the next couple of weeks for the holidays. So people go on vacation. Yeah. So I would jump on that as soon as possible. Okay? Hey, man, so glad we connected. Let's stay connected via LinkedIn, and I'm on Twitter, and also I'm on Instagram, too. So,
I'll follow you then.
Sounds good. You can also check my website, DrDarwinspeaks.com. You can go there, and a lot of the stuff that we talked about, some of it is there, too.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. I'll definitely send you an update. I'm going to do a lot today, and by the end of the day, I'll message you like an update of everything I was able to get done. Everything, just keep you updated on that progress.
Yeah, shoot me an email. Let me give you my email.
Okay.
The email is NewDentistCoach @gmail.com. New Dentist, just no S at the end. NewDentistCoach @gmail.com.
NewDentistCoach @gmail.
Yep, that way I can capture your, I'll have your email address too. We can stay in contact, and give me also your cell number. Best way to contact you via cell too. Well, actually, I think I have it here. I may have it.
Yeah, I sent it to you on LinkedIn.
Okay. Sounds good, man. Well, hey, good luck to you. I'd like to hear from you maybe by the end of the week, but if you want to contact me before then, that's fine too. Just want to see. Now you got some momentum. Let's just strike while the iron is hot. Let's get you into school, man. Let's get you into school.
For sure.
Let's get you that interview. Interview time. So you can put that suit on. Put that suit on and talk to them about why you are an ideal candidate for dental school. Talk about your nonprofit organization that you put together. Your involvement with the community service, and how you're gonna bring that to the school environment, not only and to the profession.
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure.
There you go, man. Let's get you in. Let's go.
All right, sounds good. We'll talk soon, man.
Okay. Take care, Kwame. Good luck.
All right, take care. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, so another successful coaching call. I think he's going to do well. He got some strategies that are really help him get that next step, which is get the interview. But as you heard, one of the most important things is not what you know, but who you know. Establishing and going deep, deep, deep into your contacts and your network, and really trying to squeeze out connections and get introduced to the right people that can get you to the level and to the goal that you're aspired to. Take care. Hope this helps.